Yo, honestly, I never thought I'd be making this video in my wildest dreams. I quit smoking cigarettes about 8, 9 years ago, and I was pretty confident I'll never smoke a cigarette again in my life. But things just took a wild turn, and all it took was one cigarette for that to happen. What's up, guys? Welcome to the channel. First things first, this is not an endorsement of any kind for tobacco use or cigarette use. I am just trying to share my experience that I just recently had with cigarette smoking. Don't smoke, it's bad for your health. So, with that out of the way, what I want to do is share the experience I had recently of this short stint of like a couple of weeks where I got addicted to cigarettes pretty dang quickly. And honestly, I never thought I'd be making a video like this ever in my wildest dreams. You know, I quit smoking cigarettes about 8, 9 years ago, and I was done with them, and I was a serious chain smoker. I never thought I'd pick up another cigarette again. But yeah, I found myself in this position, and I got offered a cigarette, and I took it. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. Honestly, I don't even know why I took that cigarette. A part of me was I kind of just wanted to see the flavor. It was a cigarette that I've never tried before. I'm not gonna say any brand names, but you know it's marketed as organic tobacco. So I figured, you know what? Let me try this out. Let me see how it hits my palate. And it's funny because I am a cigar smoker now, so more than like half the cigarette I didn't even inhale. Like if anything, I would just like smoking it like as if it was a cigar. So there's that. But then once you inhale and you get that strong hit of nicotine, man, it is something else. So I quit smoking, like I said, you know, back in 2015. And at that time, I was a serious chain smoker. Like, I mean, at some point, even up to 2 packs a day. I mean, it's not fun. It's very unhealthy. It's disgusting. It stinks. It wears you down in so many ways. But that's beyond the point. I quit. I was happy to quit. You know, I'm like freaking, it's been so long. It's been 8, 9 years since I've had a cigarette, and then I get offered one, and it's this organic tobacco, and I'm like, you know what? I'm in the mood for making bad decisions. Let's just try it. Then I was like, wow, this little matchstick has got some flavor to it. It was fine. And then somehow, some way, those cravings start kicking in pretty much immediately. It is so easy to get addicted. You know, I had one cigarette, and then the next day I had another one, and then a couple days go by, and I'm like, man, you know what I would love right now? A quick cigarette. And then it's just over after that. Like, I'm just looking for the next cigarette at that point. I'm having cravings pretty much daily, and I just want to have a cigarette again. And so I go out and buy those same cigarettes, and yeah, man, that, you know, I would have like one a day, right? Whether it would be in the morning or afternoon or evening, I would just have that one cigarette, and it was so potent and so strong. And, you know, you get that nicotine hit, and you're like just, you know, getting that nicotine buzz. And that seemed okay, right? But then next thing you know, those cravings, they start to come more frequently. And I'm noticing this because it's been so long since I had a cigarette that I can, you know, I'm paying attention to my whole thought process and how that craving, that idea to go out and have a cigarette just pops in your head, and it's just like this impulse. And it would start to happen more frequently. So, you know, day after day, you know, I'd have like one in the morning, then I'm like, all right, yeah, I could just have one right now. And then every time that you got a break during the day, anytime you have free time, it's like, hey, your mind tells you, this impulse kicks in and says, hey, this is a good time for a cigarette. I would say like probably like a week into it, you know, and this is still at this point, maybe smoking 2 cigarettes a day the most. But within a week, now it went from having those cravings when I had free time to now it's my brain is trying to come up with ideas to make time to go out and have a cigarette. So it's like, oh, I'll take care of this thing, then I'll go have a quick cigarette. And, you know, I'll go handle this. And then on my way, or when I hop in the car and I got a quick drive, you know, I've got 15 minutes in the car, I'll have a cigarette on my way there. And that's what started happening. And that's when I knew that it was getting serious. And so at like the peak of this 2 to 3 week time span that I was smoking, I would probably have 5 cigarettes a day at the most, anywhere between, 1 to 5 a day. And then that's when I knew it's time to cut this right now before this becomes a serious problem again. And it was my like curiosity that really got to me here. I wanted to try to compare that fix and that urge to smoke in that nicotine craving. What is it like when if you're a cigarette smoker versus a cigar smoker? And now for me, like I said, I smoke cigars now. I've smoked cigarettes in the past and was definitely strongly addicted to cigarettes in the past. And I just cannot, there is no comparison like with the cravings I would get from cigarettes to cigars. There is literally nothing comparable between the two at all. Now, there's like studies and stuff like this that you can do your research on. I don't know if there's studies that say that the addiction is different, but the harmful effects of cigarettes versus cigars, there's a big difference in those studies. If you do your homework, you can find your answers on that. But I'm just speaking on my experience, and this literally just happened not too long ago. And I've been smoking cigars for, over 2 years now. Here's one thing I can say for a fact. If I want a cigar, I don't feel the urge and need to go have one right now. With cigarettes, when you want that smoke, you gotta have it. And I would get withdrawals, like cold sweats. And this is literally just from cigarettes. This isn't anything serious. I mean, addiction and stuff like that is a very serious topic, right? But just from cigarettes, I would start to get freaking cold sweats, man. This stuff is insane. And this is why I love cigars, because for me to have a cigar, it doesn't kick in with this nicotine urge and impulse to go have a cigar. I still have to plan for it. I have to think in my head like, yeah, I am going to set up a moment, or I'm going to set up a time block later on today to enjoy a cigar. And when that time comes, if everything is right and everything is good, I'll enjoy it. But if I don't have a cigar, I won't have any withdrawals. I won't even care about it necessarily, because it doesn't feel like the same type of urge and nicotine craving that you get. It's more like, you want to have free time, and like you look forward to the weekend to just relax because you don't have to work. It's kind of like that feeling. And if you had to work on the weekend, it's not the end of the world. You're going to work anyway, right? So that's how I would compare it. With cigars and the craving you get for cigars, ask anyone, they'll tell you it doesn't really feel like a nicotine fix. And I can tell you for a fact, it is nothing comparable to those little matchsticks that I was smoking. But when it comes to that cigar craving, a lot of people will tell you that it's more of the thought of that cigar rather than craving the nicotine. So you're more thinking of how am I going to enjoy this cigar and just relax for an hour or two. Like that's what your desire is. That's the fix that you want. You don't necessarily want a nicotine fix in your bloodstream, right? You know what I'm saying? So there's a very big difference here. And like I said, cigars, I can go weeks without having a cigar. No problem. No matter how many I've been smoking recently. So if I can take a cigar break for a week or anything like that, and I literally do not feel nothing. If I can't have one, no big deal, right? And even if I choose to not have any, it's not gonna, it doesn't mess with my head. Like if you just decide, hey, I'm not gonna smoke a cigarette today, you're gonna constantly have nicotine cravings, and you are gonna have a hard time not having that cigarette. And the difference is day and night between that and cigars. And you know what? What's insane about this is it only took one cigarette for me to get hooked. I mean, instantly. Like I can't recall how it just snowballed, right? From one cigarette to another to, hey, let me try it now that I didn't have someone to give me any. Then I went out and bought some. And then now it's like, okay, and it just avalanches, right? And then next thing you know, you got a pack of cigarettes and you're reaching for them every chance you get. Oh my God, I do not like those. I do not like it at all. The thing is, they're just so strong. So it's so easy to get hooked to them. And it's because they're so potent with that nicotine. And cigars are probably even stronger with nicotine, but you're you're taking it in such a slow pace, and you don't inhale it directly to your lungs. It's going through your palate and through your nostrils, let's say. But with cigarettes, you inhale that stuff right to your lungs. It's just like this instant hit, and it's so easy to get hooked to them. Now, thankfully, I did not let this go on past 3 weeks. That for sure, I did not let that go on. But one thing I knew for sure is I needed to quit immediately before I really end up getting strongly addicted to this stuff. I don't want to deal with trying to quit cigarettes again. And this was already gone far enough. Cigarettes are garbage, period. Cigarettes are trash. And this might not be, you know, for some people, maybe you could just have a cigarette whenever you felt like it socially and it wouldn't bother you. I think that's cool. If you're like that. I mean, my problem is if I have one, I'm going to want another one. It's just the way I am. And, you know, it's definitely tough, but, you know, you just got to power through it. You just got to be disciplined. Keep going one day at a time. And the next thing you know, those urges will completely subside, which is where I'm at right now. For me, what really helped me quit is this one trick or method that you can do is anytime you've got that urge and that impulse and that idea just pops into your head, spontaneously, hey, let's go have a cigarette. Whenever that happens, you just distract yourself. You know, find something else to occupy your mind for the next like 5-10 minutes. Just go do literally anything else. Get up, take a walk, maybe go do some push-ups or something like that. Even if you just like start going through your email or something like that. Go through your phone. Anything just to distract you and forget about it. Because once you forget about that impulse and that idea, it'll you know, you put it to rest and you'll forget about it for a while, and then you should be good. You just got to keep doing that every time that idea pops into your head to go have a smoke. Just don't give in to the impulse. All you got to do is just distract yourself. Like that for me was pretty much what helped me the most. So another trick I was using to kill those urges and those cravings is whenever I thought about having one and I'm imagining how good it would be, right? That's what you're thinking about. You're thinking of how you're going to enjoy this thing, but you're actually not. So what I would do is I would think about all the things I disliked about it, how nasty it smelled, how horrible it tasted, the aftertaste, how it would make my lungs feel, how it would have shortened breath and I would start wheezing, how it could mess up my cardio. Like especially like all of these things, just thinking of all the negative things I disliked about it immediately just turns off any craving I have for it. These two strategies right here were absolutely paramount in me being able to quit as fast as I did and just cold turkey it right now. And that is, you know, distracting myself whenever those cravings came in, and also reminding myself, even if I was gonna smoke, I would taste a cigar, not cigar, but cigarette. But I would taste it and just, you know, I really did not like the flavor and then the bad breath and then all that. So just reminding myself of all that negative stuff that goes along with smoking. And that makes it so much easier. It helps a lot to really shut those cravings down. With that said, I'm glad that I was able to kind of compare with how it was with, you know, the hobby that we are all here for and that we all love and enjoy, and just getting that confirmation for myself that these two things are nothing alike in my opinion. It's just apples to oranges, man. And I'm so glad I was also able to quit and immediately just, you know, shift back and, you know, kick these things to the curb. Also, guys, just a quick announcement here for the channel. Some exciting stuff happening. I just started day trading again, so I'm probably going to start doing a little bit of live streaming in the mornings while I trade in the futures market. And I also want to expand on the content here on the channel to more than just cigar related stuff and bring you guys a little bit more variation. I think you're going to love it. So yeah, definitely some exciting stuff in the works. And thank you guys for watching. I will catch you on the next video. Peace.